James, go ahead and unmute. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Kerrie. I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales for Wellsbury Tours. And we have a very special guest, two guests joining us this morning for this webinar. We're here to talk about this brand new itinerary, Taiwan Unveiled. So with me this morning, they flew in last night all the way from Taiwan, and I already have them working this morning. It's my brother, James, and his wife, Vicky. So thank you so much for being here. They're in the office here with me this morning in Kelowna, and they're on holidays in Canada here for the next 2 weeks. They're supposed to be on a ski trip, but I roped them into joining us this morning to share their insights about this very special destination. So thank you for being here, both of you, and welcome.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. 你好，大家好。
So he's going to teach you Chinese this morning as well.
So Vicky and I, we got married last July. We had our engagement dinner in Taiwan, and then we had our wedding here in Kelowna. I have been in Taiwan on and off since 2001, for about 16 years total now. I originally went there to study Chinese and teach English, and the longer I stayed and the better my Chinese got, the more I fell in love with the country. Learning Chinese really allowed me to integrate into the culture. Taiwan is an amazing place, and I'm really excited for all of you guys to come and see it. It's a really, really special place. It's super safe. We have some of the best healthcare in the world, and it's beautiful. Mountains, beaches, cities, night markets, rainforests, the best fruit in the world. Yeah.
And food.
And food. Yeah. So welcome.
Yay. It's true. And I went to visit my brother and ended up staying for a year. I loved it so much. And I've been back 4 times to visit. That's how fabulous Taiwan is. The food is incredible. The fruit, it really is the best fruit in the world. It's so tropical. It's a tropical island, as James mentioned. And Vicky's family owns a beautiful farm. And I was fortunate to visit that farm in March and try some of the fresh papayas and passion fruits and all the different fruits that their family grows. It was a really special trip to the farm. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to walk through the itinerary that you're going to embark on in Taiwan. So I will go ahead. Okay. Okay, so here we are. So we are off to Taiwan for the first time. This is a brand new itinerary for Wellsbury Tours. I am over the moon thrilled to be able to sell this destination. And we're off to Taiwan in October. So it's a 16-day tour. Just came up for sale a couple weeks ago, and we're already half full. So just 13 seats left. We are taking a small group, so 25 people. And it will be a higher activity level. It's a long way to travel. We are going to get out and do some walking through the beautiful forest, walking through those amazing night markets. As James mentioned, this is an interesting fact. There are over 300 night markets in Taiwan. So we're not going to visit all of them, of course, but you are going to have a chance to taste all this delicious food. So this tour is an activity level 3. So we just ask you to keep that in mind.
That's a picture of Taipei 101 looking from Elephant Mountain.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous view. And how many people live in downtown Taipei, James?
Downtown Taipei is about 3.5 million, and then Greater Taipei is about 11 million. Taiwan is really unique. It has dense urban city centers, but then we have lots and lots of green space, farmland, rice paddy, rice fields, uh, fruit farms, and then steep mountainous terrain. Really amazing hiking as well.
Yeah, I learned by visiting just this last trip in March, we went up into the mountains and over 70% of Taiwan is mountainous. So there is a lot of green space in Taiwan, which we're going to get you out into that green space as well.
Yeah.
So this is a quote. James could read this for us, maybe in Chinese.
That says, 吃到了,学到了. Eat, eat for your life, or eat until you're old, and then you can study till you're old. It's actually the original quote is 活到老,学到老. So live a long life and learn for your life. But because in Taiwan there's so much good food, they've changed the old saying to eat till you're old, learn till you're old.
I love it. And you want to eat everything when you are there. I can guarantee you that. And it's lovely to visit and see that people are lifelong learners and always continuing their education or working until they can't work anymore. So it's a pretty amazing culture that way. So we will be flying you in and out of Taipei City. So you can see the island here. This is just a quick overview map. Taiwan, very interestingly enough, is almost the exact same square footage as Vancouver Island. So that gives you sort of a perspective of the landmass. Is that correct, James?
Yeah, Taiwan is 36,000 square kilometers, and Vancouver Island, no, I'm sorry, Taiwan is about 30,000 square kilometers. Vancouver Island is 36,000 square kilometers. Taiwan has a population of 23 million. Canada has a population of close to 40 million now. So if you could imagine compacting the population of Canada into 3 or 4 urban city centers, you might get an idea of what it's like. And yet it doesn't feel that crowded.
It's true. There's, I believe, about 800,000 people who live on all of Vancouver Island. You compare that to the 22 million in Taiwan. But there's just a method to the madness. Everybody is so respectful. Yeah. Everything just moves very connected. People are very polite. It's a wonderful way. Even though there's so many people, you sort of have to all get along to make it all work. And so it's a very respectful culture that way, I find.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's very different from mainland China. Taiwan functions much more like Japan, where people are very respectful of each other, and it's super, super safe.
Yeah, Taiwan is regarded as one of the safest countries in the world. You think of that many people in such a small space, and yet they're the safest country in the world because they just believe in looking after each other and their families and their community, and there's just really no theft or crime, which is so impressive. So that's an overview. We will be flying in and out of Taipei City. We'll be making our way down one side of the island right into the middle. We have a 2-night stay at Sun Moon Lake. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth. We make our way down all the way down into the south into Tainan, very special place, making our way back up into Taichung, and then finishing again and flying out of Taipei City. Okay, so starting right here from the Okanagan, Wells Gray Tours, we do offer those local pickups in your home cities. So we'll be transporting you down to New Westminster. And what we've done is booked rooms at the Inn at the Quay, beautiful hotel right on the river in New Westminster. This way you have a place to relax. We have a very late night flight. It's an overnight flight that I believe leaves at 1 or 2 a.m. So we want to get you down to the city nice and early, and then you have lots of time at the hotel to relax. We will have a an acquainted dinner at the boathouse right there at the inn at the quay, and then make our way to Vancouver Airport for that overnight flight. One thing I always find so interesting is we lose a day when we go. They are a whole day ahead of us when we cross that international date line, but we will regain that day when we come back. So we will fly and land in Taipei. So right into Taipei Airport, we have our coach and our local guide will meet us right at the airport. We do have a very early morning arrival, so we will get you right off into the hotel, which is this picture you can see, and it's the Grand Hotel Taipei, an absolutely phenomenal property built back in 1952, a 14-story building. It resembles a palace. So it's a great gem of the Taiwanese culture, and we have 4 nights here. So we'll get you right into the hotel so you can relax, sleep, and rejuvenate. Anything you want to add about the property, James?
It was built by Chiang Kai-shek after the Cultural Revolution in China, and he built it as a monument to his wife and a place of significance because at the time Taiwan didn't have many formal or very elegant buildings. Yeah, it's a very beautiful property.
They do an amazing tea, like high tea, which you will be doing as well. And there's some wonderful sightseeing right around the property. So in the late afternoon, we will do a guided walk through the secret tunnel. So this is a fascinating piece of history that is right beneath the Grand Hotel. It was originally built during the Cold War era, and it served as an emergency escape for the high-ranking officials. So in case of an attack, they even have a slide that was used back in the day. So you're going to have a guided tour down and learn the history of underneath the hotel. So it'll be a really nice afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Because when Chiang Kai-shek was forced to flee China at the end of the Cultural Revolution, they were constantly worried that Mao Zedong would try to invade Taiwan. And so everything that they built had escape routes.
Very interesting. So James was just mentioning Chiang Kai-shek. So this day we have a full day touring Taipei. Some of the really big highlights, this is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. It's an absolutely gorgeous building. The beautiful roof, the landscaping and the gardens are just fantastic. It's hard to show the scale of how large this is in the photograph. James might want to talk a bit more about this, but this is my brother and I a few years ago having our photo here in front of the Memorial Hall, but we will have a guided tour here and learn about the history of the property.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's huge. You're looking at the Chiang Kai-shek monument there in the background, but on both the left and the right side are the Taiwan National Theater, and it's just fantastic.
So Chiang Kai-shek, do you want to just mention, James? So he was the president of China. He was overthrown by the Communist Party, sort of fled to Taiwan, and he was the leader in Taiwan.
That's right. So the Chinese Cultural Revolution was happening at the same time as the Second World War.
We are going to learn a lot of history and culture. Here's a lovely picture of Vicky and my parents. So this was last September.
Yep.
Yes.
They came to visit, and my brother and Vicky got engaged on this trip. So it was a pretty special trip, and just an absolutely beautiful photo. And then just another photo they took here as well. Then after visiting that, we will head down into Longshan.
Yeah, Longshan 也是, or Longshan 四宫.
Temple, and this district is very significant for the shrine. It dates back to 1738. We are going to explore some of the vibrant streets in this area and the historic, I can't say this, James.
Bo Liao and Dihua Street. Dihua Street is a traditional Chinese market and traditional fabric market. So stalls and stalls and stalls of every kind of fabric or material you could imagine. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, Vicky was mentioning to me last night, do you buy fabric? This is where you would go to buy fabric?
Yes, I'll buy lots of different materials there. You can shop all different kind of what you want.
Yeah.
And fabrics to sew clothes, like all different.
Yeah.
Like pillows or
Silk, everything.
Pillows, silk.
Yeah.
So if you love to shop, this is going to be a great afternoon. And then we'll also be treated to a tea tasting as well. So it's a pretty full day. And then we will finish with a huge highlight, which is visiting Taipei 101. So this was the world's tallest building until Dubai came and built the Burj Khalifa. So that did surpass the 101. But we will ride the elevator up to the very top where you can observe the just absolutely amazing panoramic view of Taipei City and just see how dense and populated this city really is. And it's amazing to go on this elevator, and in 37 seconds, you're up 101 floors. It is so fast. It is so incredible.
Yeah, it feels like a rocket ship to the moon.
And I love you get off the elevator and you're at the top, and I don't know if I'll explain this very well, but they have a huge pendulum that is basically what keeps the building, if there was an earthquake, from shifting. So it's built so that the whole building will move 101 stories. And you can see this in all of the engineering. And it's just amazing to see that engineering and that pendulum just moving with the earth. Like it's pretty amazing, the engineering that went behind building this building.
Typhoons as well. So during high winds, the building literally flexes.
Wow.
And the pendulum, which weighs, I don't even know, but it's tons and tons and tons, will move something like meter to counterbalance the swinging of the building.
It is incredible to see. And then is the building built to look like bamboo?
It was, yeah. So the architect, he built it inspired by bamboo and like a sword.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell from this photo, but when you get up close to it, you will see all of the different layers and levels, and it is just an amazing building. The shopping in this building is incredible. Lots of floors of shopping. It's a huge shopping mall. There are amazing food courts. It is just an absolutely incredible building. And we will be visiting or having dinner in Taipei 101. Yeah, this makes my mouth water at Din Tai Fung, which is one of the most renowned soup dumpling restaurants in the world. So James, do you have a little bit more history you wanted to share?
Sure. So the owner of Din Tai Fung, he started the restaurant in the late 70s, or sorry, in the early 70s, I believe. He was an oil salesman, and then he started making soup dumplings and slowly grew the restaurant. I think they did their first franchise in the early 90s. There are now 170 worldwide locations worldwide, and it was at one time voted by the New York Times one of the best restaurants in the world. It's fantastic. And the entire kitchen is glass, and you can see all of the chefs working and hand folding every single dumpling in like an assembly line. It's really fascinating just to watch them make the dumplings.
Vicky was telling me last night, it's at 8, they do 18 folds in every single dumpling.
Yeah, every single dumpling. The food's fantastic.
So that is going to be a fabulous meal. So I'm so excited for you to eat here. Okay, and then we're back to the beautiful Grand Hotel overnight again. And then our next day, also a really special day. Absolutely love visiting here. We spend the morning at the National Palace Museum. The gardens are just incredible, as incredible as the building itself, but this is ranked as one of the world's most important collections of art and culture. They have over 70,000 artifacts.
700,000.
Oh, 700,000. Yeah, sorry. 700,000. And much of the collection originally came from the Forbidden City in Beijing, and it was moved to Taiwan in 1949 during the Chinese Civil War to protect it from being damaged or looted. And there are some just incredible jade treasures, books, paintings, and you could go here every day and still not see all the collection. They rotate the collection with so many pieces. But this is a beautiful day, and there's two very, very special pieces we were chatting about last night, and Vicky has these two photos of them. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
The one on the left is called Bai Cai. So it's a
cabbage.
It's cabbage, and it's a piece of jade that has been very, very intricately carved, and it has a locust or like a cricket on one side of it as well. Beautiful piece. And then the other one it's a piece of pork. So the top is pork rind, and then the meat would be underneath. Just because pork was such a traditional food in the Taiwanese culture, and so this piece of jade coloring suited this piece of pork. So what they do is they find a piece of jade and look at the coloring, and then carve it to reflect whatever it is that they're trying to portray.
Yeah, these are the most famous pieces of jade in the world. And when they first were put into the museum, I read that over 21,000 people a day were lining up just to get in to see these pieces. But don't worry, you won't have to line up with all those people. We're walking right in.
Got the VIP treatment.
Yes. So it is just an amazing museum. And then we finish our day. So this is a really special day. As night falls, we attend the Shifan Sky Lantern Festival. This is really special. I didn't attend this festival, but we went and you can purchase a paper lantern, and you write your hopes and dreams and wishes, and you light them and let them off to the gods. But we will be there during the actual festival, which takes place once a year. This is going to be an absolutely beautiful evening. And I know they have worked really hard. This is interesting that Taiwan, being such a densely populated island, they are a world leader in recycling. Mm-hmm. They boast a recycling rate of over 65%. So this kind of comes into play with the lanterns. They've switched over, from the plastic to having more paper or biodegradable lanterns. So it's just a bit more of an environmentally friendly event.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Well, we're seeing.
And it's just once a year, I believe, this festival. So we're lucky to be there during this time. And then we'll have dinner after this, and dinner will be on your own this evening, and we are off to the Shilin night market.
Yes.
And so this is one of the most famous markets in Taipei city. It's very big. There is nothing you cannot find here. The shopping, the food, dessert, absolutely a culinary paradise. It's a shopping haven. And the sounds and the smells, like it is going to a night market in Taiwan is one of the funnest things that you will do. There's some food pictures on here. On the far left is called the oyster omelet. It might not sound delicious, but it is one of the best dishes to try at the night market.
People line up around the block every night. And these are locals. Locals line up around the block every night just to get their oyster omelet.
And there's steam buns and fried rice and fried chicken and calamari. You have never seen this much food in your life. And what's so cool about the night market is they're all sort of small portions, so you can go from stall to stall and sort of eat your way through the whole market.
Yeah, you don't sit down for a large meal. You just get little bits, and so people nibble at each place, and we'll stop at 5 or 6 places to sort of fill up over the evening.
And it's very, very affordable. Taiwan boasts having some of the most affordable, healthy food in the world. You can eat very inexpensively, very, very well in Taiwan.
Oh, yeah, a couple of dollars.
A couple of dollars for each sample of food that you will try. So that's going to be a great night. Then we're on to day 5, and we're going to head out of Taipei City a little bit and head down into Xinguashu.
Sure.
We're all learning Chinese together, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been here, but it is notable for its gold and copper mine. It was used by the Japanese as a prisoner of war camp.
Yeah. It was also one of the first places to develop in northern Taiwan because of the gold mines.
Mm.
It's beautiful, and it overlooks the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, you can see from the photo just how gorgeous the backdrop is. And then just nearby, we head off to the hillside village of
Zhaofan.
Which is absolutely gorgeous. There's a beautiful waterfall here, and we'll be touring around this beautiful village. It's just, the scenery is really, really pretty, and you're out of that hustle bustle of the big city. And then our next day, we're going to travel further south down to Ilan.
Yeah.
And this is a lovely area, lots of beautiful views. We'll stop a couple times to get out and take pictures of the panoramic views. We will have lunch en route, and then we're going to visit the Kavalan distillery. This is a famous distillery in Taiwan. It was Taiwan's first whiskey distillery, and they use pure water and pure air to make these award-winning whiskeys. So we'll do a whiskey tasting here.
It's now one of the best in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they've won several international awards.
And I'm sure you could probably purchase a bottle and bring it home. Yeah.
Yeah, and they also sell samplers. So you can buy, a 5-pack of small bottles, or a big bottle.
That's a great gift.
Yeah, it's just really good.
And they probably are sipping this straight, I imagine.
They can do it on ice or straight.
Mm-hmm. That will be fun. And then in the afternoon, we're going to visit the Okay, I'm going to let Vicky. This is I'm not going to ruin it. So this is the geothermal valley, and it is known for hot springs and soothing foot baths. So we will go and soak in these beautiful geothermal foot baths. And I had no idea Taiwan had such a geothermal heat.
Yeah, some of our mountains were formed by volcanoes. There are no active volcanoes now, but we have hot springs all over the island. And Taiwan also has one of the only saltwater hot springs in the world.
Oh. And I'll have to visit that next time I come.
It's on Green Island. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Even though I've lived there for a year and went back 4 times, I still haven't seen all the fabulous places there are to see in Taiwan. That's how much there is to do and see there. Okay, we're on to our next day, and we're off into the beautiful forest regions of Taiwan. So as we mentioned, we're going to get you out into those gorgeous mountains, off into the tree garden of
Silan. This is a tropical rainforest, similar to like the redwoods or the North Shore of Vancouver, except the trees are the Hinoki cypress, and they call it shangmu. It's like cedar, similar to cedar in that it's an antimicrobial and it's scented. And when the Japanese colonized Taiwan in the first half of the 20th century, they exported the hinoki to build houses in Japan.
But now the trees are protected.
Yeah, that's right. All of the trees are protected. They're all part of the national forest.
So this will be a beautiful forest walk. I'm sure the smell will be fantastic in there. And then we do continue on into the Taipei Xingshan. How do I do there?
Oh, Taipei San. Yeah. Taipei San National Forest.
National Forest. Which is the photo you see. And then we are off into the
Lisan, yeah.
Lisan. This is a gorgeous area, and we stay at a guest house here. And I have a picture, the next slide. This is the guest house. So just located right in the beautiful mountains, a very traditional building. And we have an overnight stay here at this absolutely gorgeous guest house.
Fantastic views of the mountains. It's really pretty.
Very quiet, very peaceful, very romantic. It's very picturesque. So this will be a lovely overnight stay. And remember the name of this guest house, because we're going to have a little surprise at the very end. Okay, so we're going to keep going. So we're on to day 8, and we're going to do a beautiful walk. There are walking trails, stairs, so it's fairly easy walking. And this is through Mount.
This is Hehuanshan.
Hehuanshan.
This is the highest mountain pass in Taiwan, highest driving pass in Taiwan. The pass is about 3,200 meters, and then Hehuanshan, the peak is around 3,400 meters. So you drive almost all the way to the peak. And then it's just a short walk to the viewpoints.
Gorgeous. Yeah. So we'll do that, get out, breathe all that beautiful fresh air. And then we have a very special lunch. This is a very traditional lunch. I just had this in March when I was there. And this photograph on the right is our dad, James Niemeier. I took this photo. So this is a roast chicken feast. And you really can't go to Taiwan without having this feast. They serve you a whole roast chicken to the table and give you gloves, and you eat with your hands, and you have to, break up the chicken and share with the table. And so here's my dad just getting right in there, and it is such a fun, delicious lunch. Anything else we want to add about that?
Tell us how they cook the chicken, Vicky.
So we put the chicken in a pot and steam it and with
charcoal.
Yeah, charcoal.
Yeah, it's cooked in a barrel and it's smoked but steamed. So it's very, very tender, and they cook it for hours. So super tender, super delicious. That's really special.
It's a little bit hard to see, but you can order all the different side dishes, and then they do rice in the bamboo, like cooked inside bamboo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's really unique as well.
It's delicious. It's like a sticky rice that is steamed with inside the bamboo. So that's a really special treat to try. So you'll be able to taste all of those things at this lunch. And get your gloves on and get right in there and eat with your hands. And it's so funny to eat with your hands. We're not really as used to it here, I think so.
They will give you chopsticks and a fork if you need.
Oh yeah, I see some chopsticks in the picture there for Dad. Yeah.
It's entertaining.
And then we're off to, this is a very special place. We did spend a few days with Vicky's family here in March, and we're off to Sun Moon Lake. So this is sort of in the center of Taiwan. It's a very beautiful, sacred place. I don't believe they even allow people to swim in the lake.
They don't. They prohibit swimming year-round. Once a year, they have a race across the lake, a swimming race across the lake, but otherwise you're not allowed to swim in the lake, just to maintain the pristine beauty of the lake. It's sacred in Aboriginal culture. And it's one of the most beautiful places in Taiwan. I just love it there. If you can get up to see the sunset, the sunrise, sunrise in the morning or the sunset in the evening is really beautiful.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're staying at this hotel you see in the photo on the left, and it is a 5-star property. It's one of the top hot spring hotels in Taiwan. So you can see on the right the beautiful pools that you can go in and your beautiful view. And we have 2 nights staying at this property. And there are some fantastic things to do around Sun Moon Lake. There's a beautiful walking trail around the lake. You can also bike around.
Yep.
Our guide will be taking us around. One of the very special temples is here, and this was Chiang Kai-shek. He created this memorial to his mother.
Yep.
This was built for his mom, and it is called the Sian Pagoda. Sian Pagoda. And it's 1,000 years above sea level, and you can hike up and see the beautiful views across the lake. So that's a really special afternoon. And then in the evening, we'll do a sunset cruise. And we got up really early. I'm trying to remember in March, but probably 4 or 5 a.m. to see the sunrise. And we walked down to the water, and it was worth it. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
And then here's just a couple of photo maps. So there's some absolutely amazing temples on Sun Moon Lake. So you are going to tour these. I don't know the name of this temple.
That's Wamu, yeah.
Wamu.
Yeah, beautiful stone carvings. It's fantastic.
You can go inside. There's gold rooms. It is incredible, and the pictures do not do it justice. It's huge.
You can't see from these pictures, but it's built on a hillside, and you can walk up the stairs up the side of the hill and get a view of the lake and the temple. It's really pretty.
Yeah, I think I have one more picture. So here it's looking sort of down with James and Vicky on the left, and then you can just see all the different temples and how high you get, and then the perspective of looking down over the beautiful lake.
Yeah. It's all easy walking. It's all stairs. But it's well worth the hike.
And it's not very populated. It could be touristy maybe, but
you guys will be there in the fall. It will be, and you'll be there during the week, so it will be quite quiet. It won't be too busy.
Yeah, James and I were chatting last night about so you'll be there end of October, beginning of November.
Best time of year.
Best time of year. So about the weather.
It's like September in the Okanagan. It's 26 degrees during the day and dry, so it's not too hot. And then in the evenings, it's it cools down to maybe 18 degrees, and again it's dry, so pants and a light jacket are really comfortable. It's a really nice time of year to go because in the summer it's super hot
and humid. So you won't have that humidity, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a lovely time to visit. Then from here, I have never been here either, but this is a mountainous area as well, so on the southwest coast. Anping.
Yeah. So this is the Anping Fort in Tainan. Vicky and I were there last year. It's really fascinating because the Dutch colonized Taiwan in the early 1600s, and they maintained trade relations and sort of control over southern Taiwan for like 200 years. And so they built forts and trading centers for the spice trade.
Yeah, so we'll tour here, which will be great. Then we have a beautiful 3-night stay at the Silk Place Hotel. So this is in Tainan in the south, and it is an absolutely gorgeous property, and it has a wonderful location. So you're really close to a short walk to there's a famous shopping center. So it'll be lovely to just be able to walk out your door and go shopping or try new foods, and you feel so safe. You can go anywhere, any time of day in Taiwan, walk very easily around, and maybe we could talk a little about the language. I would say in the hotels, most people would speak English.
Yeah, it's very accessible.
Also in the department store or the shopping mall.
Shopping malls,
they do as well.
Stores. Yeah. even in the restaurants, they have English on all the menus now, or pictures, so you can, if you're out wandering around by yourself, you can easily wander into a shop and, point at a picture, and everyone's super friendly and really goes out of their way to help you.
And then what about currency? That's a good, I was thinking,
So it's new Taiwan dollars. You can use credit cards. You can also just use cash. Taiwan still functions as a very much a cash society as well. Yeah, so you can use Apple Pay, you can use Line Pay, you can use your credit card, your MasterCard, Visa, and cash.
and even at the night markets and all those small stalls.
Night markets will be cash mostly.
Okay, so that's good to keep in mind.
Yep.
And I'm sure the guide or receptive will help incorporate that. It's very easy to go to a bank or a bank machine and get out.
You can, yeah, any convenience store has an ATM, and you can walk in with your credit card. Just make sure it's set up for international withdrawals, and then you can withdraw cash from anywhere. Super easy.
Yeah, and very interesting fact, there are over 11,000 convenience stores in Taiwan. So those are 7-Elevens, Family Mart. So as James just mentioned, you can walk in, they all have a cash machine.
Yeah.
So it's so convenient, and you must go into a 7-Eleven or a Family Mart while you're there. They have the best chips, snacks, ice cream bars. You can buy you could eat literally just in 7-Eleven in Taiwan. The food is so good, and there's so much of it.
The 7-Eleven functions as a restaurant now. It's not like the stereotypical 7-Eleven that we have in America or Canada. We do everything there. You can eat there. You can pick up your mail, your packages, pay all your bills, pick up all your drinks for the day, pick up your coffee, your bubble tea, everything.
Yeah, you can have a delicious iced coffee. You can have a cold beer.
Yep, they have beer on tap at 7-Eleven.
It is the coolest thing. Okay. And then, so we're in Tainan. This is a beautiful area. James mentioned a little bit about the Dutch rule that was there. It's sort of a slower pace of life down here in the south. The locals like sort of that slow island time. We will do a walking tour around and learn the history about the food and the people in this area. And we do have a special lunch planned here. This area is known for a very famous dish called the danzi.
Oh.
Danzai noodle soup. So it is a Taiwan delicacy. We'll have a very special lunch here, and then again do a little bit more around learning about some of the small art galleries and restaurants and some of the new different shops that you can visit.
Yep.
Which is a really pretty picture of Tainan. And then this is the noodle soup.
That's good stuff. Yeah, food in Tainan is some of the best.
And then we're on to day 12, and we're off to visit the
Foguangshan
Buddha Museum. So this is a pretty special place. It has a 108-meter high statue, so it is the world's tallest bronze sitting Buddha. And you can just see from the size of it and all the gardens. So we'll learn about this area and Buddhism and the role of Buddhism in Taiwan. James and I were chatting a little bit last night
about religion.
And the different religions in Taiwan.
Yeah, Buddhism makes up about 26% of the population. Taoism makes up another 14%. Christianity about 6%, and then ancestral religion makes up about 46%. So ancestors, filial piety is really important to Taiwanese culture. People really respect their elders and the family. There are no old folks homes or seniors homes in Taiwan. People live with their family as they get older. So mom and dad will come back to live with usually the oldest son.
Great. So mom and dad are moving to Taiwan to live with you in their old age.
That's right.
That's right.
And chose my words more carefully.
I believe if with that Buddhism influence brings a lot of vegetarian food and flavors, and the vegetarian food in Taiwan is fantastic. You can definitely eat vegan or vegetarian pretty easily. Like, so dietary restrictions should not be too difficult.
No, not at all.
Yeah, there's just so many options available. And because of it being so tropical and having such a long growing season, the vegetables and the flavors are just so fresh all of the time.
Right. In Canada, you often have only one growing season, whereas in Taiwan, we have 2 or 3. So they'll harvest vegetables or fruit 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay, and then we're on to day 13. So we will slowly start our way back to Taipei. We have a tea ceremony planned. Tea is a very prominent part of Taiwanese culture. Green tea and the oolong teas. And it's hard to know that there was so much to know about tea. We visited a tea farm recently in March and did a tea tasting and tasting the different teas. So it's a really fun experience. They often serve a tea egg as well, which is the egg that's soaked in the tea that you could eat. So this will be a really wonderful morning. Yeah, Vicky's family owns a tea farm as well in Taiwan. So green tea is green tea the most popular? Maybe black or oolong?
Green tea.
Green tea?
Yeah.
So we'll have that tea ceremony. We will also do a walk through Rainbow Village. So there was an elderly resident that years and years ago, he began sort of painting murals on the old homes and has turned it into this beautiful art walk. So learning about his history and his being a grandfather and doing this painting. That should be an interesting afternoon. And then we're off into, this is an optional visit, but it is the largest night market in Taiwan. So the picture, you can just see how much is going on here. There is a lot going on. Every one of those signs is a different food stall or shopping or...
Yeah, it's all food.
It's all food. It's just hard to imagine.
Yeah, it pretty much is all food.
All food.
Yeah.
You will not be hungry on this tour, ladies and gentlemen. But trust me, you want to try all the things. And it's just a short walk from the hotel, so you can go at your leisure, come and go, and pop out, have a bubble tea, have dinner, and even go back out for dessert later.
Yeah. You have to try the mango ice.
Mango ice.
Oh gosh, the beef noodle soup, the dumplings, the oyster omelets. Well, it's all so good. Yeah.
I forgot about the mango ice. I love the mango ice.
Oh, that's, one of the best things there is.
Also, beef noodle soup is one of my favorite dishes in Taiwan. So hopefully you will experience beef noodle soup. And then we are off into day 14. So we are off into the outskirts of Taipei. And this area is called
Ansha.
Yeah.
Ansha.
Old market, old street.
So it's just beautifully, carved buildings. And they've turned it into sort of a modern, wonderful, fun shopping area, sort of a hip scene with new little restaurants and cafes and different galleries and breweries. So it's a wonderful little shopping area. And then we will also stop at another tea farm. So this will be an organic tea farm. Binlong, no.
Bingo will be a different kind of green tea.
A different kind of green tea. And is the green tea, Vicky, they're all just different plants that are all different trees that are planted that makes the tea different? Or is it all the tea from one tree and then how they harvest it?
It's partially the way they harvest it,
Right.
where it's grown, the elevation it's grown at, how it's dried, how it's rolled, and how it's fermented.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, really interesting process. So you'll see all of that process and then taste the different teas. And then sadly, but we're winding down to the end of the tour. So we're back into Taipei and we will have a farewell dinner. And this is at the Xinye.
Vicky and I ate dinner there 2 nights ago with her family for Chinese New Year.
Ah.
Yeah. We were just there.
So it's a traditional Taiwanese dishes.
Yeah, delicious.
Oh, so and they have home style cooking. They have an almond tofu dessert that is a must try, and it takes 3 chefs from scratch to make it. So there's just so much work and love and thought that goes into all of the food. So this will be a lovely way to have your last meal in Taipei.
Yep.
And then we will be flying out that evening later on. So basically exactly what James and Vicky just did 2 days ago. You go for this really beautiful, delicious meal.
Yeah.
Nice and full. And then
we actually, we did almost the exact same thing. We went for dinner here, and then her folks drove us to the airport. So it looks like you guys are doing the exact same thing. You're going to go for dinner and then go to the airport.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And then you'll have your night flight home and arrive back into Vancouver. And we get back, we gain that day back. So even though we're sort of a day ahead there, come back and get that day back, and we'll land into Vancouver and then make our way back into your home cities.
What airline are you flying on?
Ooh, that's a great question. I do believe it's through Eva Air, which is the same airline.
Yeah.
I believe it's the same itinerary pretty much that I flew with in March, and then that would be what you flew.
Yeah, that's the way we fly. It's great. It's direct. It's 10 hours, but you get on the plane at midnight, and they serve you a meal right away. As soon as you get on the plane, as soon as the plane takes off, they start serving the food, and then you can sleep. I keep looking over at my sister. I should be looking at her.
Look straight ahead. I'm over here. Look at me over here.
But yeah, it's fantastic because we had dinner and then I fell asleep for 6 hours, and then you wake up and they serve you another meal, and then you're there, and you get into Vancouver at 6:30 at night. So you leave at midnight and you get back at 6:30. You can have 2 Friday nights. You go out for dinner again on Friday, or whatever day it is. Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, you arrived and went out for dinner in Vancouver. That's what our group. Yeah, perfect. And it's nice. It's wonderful service on Eva Air. I was impressed. That was the first time I'd flown with them in March. And then you get a breakfast meal as well, and lots of movies. So it's a wonderful flight. It is long, 10 hours, but it's nice. It's direct.
Yeah, it's one of the best or top-rated airlines, and it's a Taiwanese company.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, great.
So what we'll do is we have a special giveaway. So if you remember a little bit earlier on in the webinar, I mentioned we're staying at that very picturesque mountain resort for the evening. Was it Linshan?
Yep.
Yep. And they also own a tea farm. And we have a very special bag of tea from that tea farm that James brought from Taiwan. So here it is, and we're going to give that away. So what I've done, everyone, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here. And everyone who joined us today, all of your names, if you registered for the webinar, I put them into a draw. And we're going to spin the wheel here now and give away this delicious bag of green tea. Okay, so can you see the spinning wheel?
Yeah.
Okay, your names are not on there, James.
Give it a rip. Oh, wait a second. What?
Your names are not included.
I thought I got to join the tour.
Well, you might be a special guest.
You guys are staying in some of the places I haven't even had a chance to stay at.
Yeah, we might have
We've only seen them.
Bring him along to join the group. Okay,
translate.
so here we go. I'm going to click to spin.
Who's it gonna be? And it's landing
So
on
easy. Oh.
Margaret McIntosh.
Okay,
There you go.
Margaret.
You just won a nice bag of green
Congratulations.
tea.
Delicious green tea.
All the way from Taiwan.
All the way from Taiwan. I get so excited when James comes to visit because I do always request him to bring me more green tea. It's just not the same as what we buy here. Very special. So I will mail that to you, Margaret. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen again. There we go. Okay, so now I would like to just maybe open it up. If anyone had any questions, they can go ahead and put those in the chat box, and we can maybe answer any questions you might have. If any questions come up in the meantime after the webinar, James and Vicky are here for 2 more weeks, so I can reach out to him really quickly and get any answers that you might need.
A phone call away. He's
just a phone call away as well in Taiwan, so we can always answer any questions, but hopefully we answered lots of questions this morning. It's a pretty special destination, so I'm thrilled that Wells Gray Tours is taking a group in October.
Yeah, it really is one of the safest places in the world, and you know, often the Western media really makes it sound like it's always in the news, but it's such a great place to visit and to live. Yeah, get there if you can.
And I don't see any questions. I'm just looking in the chat, but I don't think we have any questions. Okay, well, that's great. Well, I just want to say thank you so much on behalf of Wells Gray Tours for joining us this morning. If you did have any technical difficulties, this is recorded and I will send this out as a link. You can watch the recording as well. Please reach out to me or any of the local offices if you do have any further questions about this fabulous destination, or you have any questions for James and Vicky. And they're off now. They're going to go up to our family ski cabin at Mount Baldy. Yay! And they're going to go skiing for a few days. And then, very exciting as well, Vicky's sister, Gina, who is doing her master's degree in Germany currently, but she is flying here on Saturday.
Yeah, so she's going to come skiing as well.
So we're all going skiing together. And Vicky started skiing, was it just 2 years ago?
Yep.
And she is fast, ladies and gentlemen. This lady learned how to ski so quickly.
She's already a pro. She had a good coach.
Yeah, my brother was her teacher, so sweet. So I just want to say thank you so much to both of them for joining us this morning. They just arrived last night. They're a little bit jet lagged, and I roped them into coming to the office with me. So thank you. I really appreciate it, both of you, and we're so excited to visit you and see you in Taiwan. My brother owns 2 schools in Taiwan and teaches English, but he speaks Mandarin and the children translate into English, and vice versa. So it's a pretty intense way of
it's
learning.
A really different style of learning. Our teachers all speak Chinese, and so we are able to translate everything we teach. And we invite the parents into the classroom, or we encourage the parents to watch every class. And so they can then go home and practice and be part of their kids' learning experience. So that promotes learning at home as well.
It's really fun to visit the school. We always go to visit and watch the classes when our family comes to visit. And really fun last night, so they arrived, and one of my brother's students from over 10 years ago in Taiwan is studying for his first semester. He's 19 in Kelowna at UBCO. So we took him out for dinner last night, and James hadn't seen him in
10 years.
10 years.
9 years, yeah.
And yeah, he's a first-year student at UBCO here in Kelowna. So it's just such a small world that he came all this way to further his degree.
And he's doing really well. And his English is, I mean, I taught him from when he was 8 till he was 12, something like that. And yeah, it's now he's 19. It's amazing. And he's doing well. That's really cool.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to let everyone go. So thank you again. And we wish you all safe and happy travels. And thanks again so much to James and Vicky. So take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, yeah. She, we say. Thank you.
See you in Taiwan.
See you in Taiwan. How?